Picture this: Cleveland, Ohio, the 1930s. The streets are filled with shadows, secrets, and a growing fear. People are whispering about a monster no one can catch, a name that still sends chills down spines: the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run. Back then, Cleveland was a city on the edge, struggling through the Great Depression, neighborhoods barely hanging on. But as night fell, something even darker crept in. A hidden figure stalking the alleys, waiting for the perfect moment. This wasn't your typical criminal. The Mad Butcher didn't just end lives. He left behind scenes straight out of a nightmare. Victims, mostly the forgotten and desperate, would vanish from the shantytowns and train tracks of Kingsbury Run. Days later, police would stumble onto something horrifying: body parts scattered in the weeds, heads and arms missing. Sometimes the remains left right where someone would find them. Each discovery more gruesome than the last. And just when everyone thought it couldn't get worse, another headline: headless body found. The newspapers started calling him the torso killer. It was like living inside a real-life horror story, with no end in sight. Desperate for answers, the city called in their top crime fighter, Eliot Ness. Yep, the very same guy who took down Al Capone. Ness was a star, a legend. But this case, this killer, was different. Ness threw everything he had at the investigation: raids, roundups, even burning down the shantytown to flush out the killer. But every lead dried up, every clue led to a dead end. The Mad Butcher vanished just as quickly as he appeared, leaving the city in terror and Ness in utter frustration. There was one suspect who stood out: Dr. Francis Sweeney. Weird, reclusive, and an expert with a scalpel. Seems suspicious, right? The police thought so too, but back in the 1930s there were no DNA tests, no forensics, no catching someone with a single fingerprint. Sweeney took a lie detector test, and failed it, but it wasn't enough. No charges, no closure. Meanwhile, rumors spread that the killings didn't stop in Cleveland. Murders with the same creepy signature started popping up in Pennsylvania, then New Jersey. Was it the same person, the same monster traveling the rails? Nobody knows for sure, and that's what makes this story so chilling. It's a puzzle that's never been solved. Today the Mad Butcher is part legend, part warning. His story gets passed down in books, documentaries, whispered about in the dark corners of true crime forums. And the biggest question still haunts us: who was the torso killer? Will we ever really know? So next time you walk through a quiet city street at night, just remember, the scariest monsters are the ones we never catch.